Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. It's been, I think, like 2 weeks and some change since I've posted a video because I've been on vacation, and I also just signed all of the documents for my new apartment in New York City. Super excited. That means that this will probably be my last video for now in my childhood bedroom because I've been here for the summer as I've left my old apartment and then figured out stuff for my new apartment. But as you can see, I've cleaned a little bit because I had all of my stuff here for moving, and I've moved some stuff out of the way so that we can focus on each other in this video. It's also a no makeup day. I've just not felt a whole lot of energy lately, and I think a lot of that has just been in trying to figure out the move and getting myself prepared financially, and then also being like post vacation, running around the whole time doing stuff. I've just been very tired this week, so yeah, I just didn't feel like getting ready for this video. But anyways, welcome back to episode 2 of Weird Girl Childhood. Today we're going to be talking about Minecraft. And once again, I'm going into this video with absolutely no plan, so I'm just going to share my thoughts. I first wanted to make a note that I am only going to be doing a general overview based on my perceptions from my childhood, and I'm going to be referencing some notable figures in the Minecraft YouTube community specifically. Some of these people have been canceled, and some of these people have been involved in some really just terrible things, but I'm not going to get into any of those details. But I will still be mentioning them and their place in the general overview for continuity reasons. And not everybody I'm going to reference has had a controversy like that, obviously, but I just wanted to get that out of the way before we begin. And I have a special guest today. Isn't it cute? I got this at, I think it was called the Sea Lantern or the Sea Light Festival, and I love it. It's so cute. Hold on. It also, it's not going to do both. Well, this one should go up too, but it's not wanting to work right now. Anyways, moving on. Let me set the scene. You're in elementary school. It's snowing outside. You're almost ready for winter break. Your mom gets a phone call at like 7 in the morning from the school district saying that the roads are closed because they're iced over and school is canceled for the day. Obviously, you're going to be up bright and early and you're so stoked to not have any school. It's almost Christmas time, so all the lights are up and you're in your warm pajamas and you go to the living room to play Minecraft with your little brother. How many of you can say that that was your childhood? Because that was certainly mine. My earliest memories of playing Minecraft were with my brother and my classmates in elementary school. I don't really remember how I was introduced to it. If I had to guess, it was probably somebody at school. I remember we used to have these days where they let us bring in our devices to play for a day, and that was like a reward, and everybody always wanted to play Minecraft. I had a Kindle Fire that literally I could only use to watch YouTube and play like certain games on it, and that was where I started playing Minecraft Pocket Edition. I did not play I guess it's Bedrock that is the PC edition. I'm not positive. I might have that wrong. I didn't play PC Minecraft until I was way older. So I grew up on Pocket Edition. I think most people did. And back then, the Minecraft worlds were only so many like blocks, like you only had so far that you could play on, and there was a lot less things than there are now. But I remember that being my kind of introduction to the space, and it's wild because it's still, I feel from what I've seen, very prominent for kids to interact with, but it's also something that my generation has grown up with and continues to engage with, because when I was younger, I was always playing the game and wanting to play with my friends and watching videos on YouTube of other people playing the game in different ways. And there were a lot more like Let's Plays at that time And a Let's Play is basically just them playing the game as it's intended to be, or they would mod the game. That was what I grew up doing, but as I've gotten older, you know, everybody at this point has kind of played Minecraft as it's intended to be played. So now, as I'm seeing it have a resurgence, people my age are doing a lot less like typical Let's Play content and more using Minecraft as a space to hang out with their friends, if that makes sense. Like most videos, it's not really about the gameplay. It's just about getting together in a Discord and then doing whatever, hanging out, talking. Sometimes they'll do like modded gameplay, and a lot of times there's like storylines as well that have become more popular over time. But the big thing that I've seen lately, and at least that I've been watching, have been like challenge videos in this space. So it's kind of interesting to see how it remains so popular, but it has changed so much over time. It was something that came about when I was in the age demographic for people to be interacting with it. Around that time, YouTube as a whole was having this huge boom, but Minecraft was its own space on YouTube, and it wasn't a niche space. It was one of the major spaces. So I kind of got to watch that take shape over the course of several years as well, and then become what it is now, which is really cool. So I thought we could talk through all of the different changes within that space over time. There was also Minecon. Do you remember Minecon? I never went. I wanted to. I wish I had. And people could like meet their favorite YouTubers, and they'd have like people playing on stage and stuff. I specifically remember in elementary school, I would come home every day and my brother and I would lay on the floor with my Kindle Fire and we would watch the newest episode of Stampy's Lovely World. And that was like our show. Like my parents and my grandparents all had like things on the TV that they would watch regularly. That was for me and my brother. And it's crazy that that was happening on the internet. And back then, a lot of Minecraft content was geared towards children because that was the main demographic on like Minecraft YouTube, whereas now I feel like, and I could be wrong, most of it isn't geared towards children anymore. It's geared towards people who grew up with Minecraft. But it was cool to have something like Stampy, who was geared towards a young audience, and actually take that very seriously. And he had several friends, and he wasn't the only person who was making content like this. There were several that I watched, but that was the most like important one to me. And I actually think he was quite a big contributor towards my development. And I think most people would say that even now, like he's been off YouTube for a while. He very frequently talks about embracing how people still interact with his content as a form of nostalgia for their childhood, and I think that's amazing because it was cool to have somebody who was thinking about the impact of the stuff that they were creating, the impact of what they were showing, and how they were interacting with others and with the storylines that they were pushing out. And I also remember him doing a few things that were intended to be more educational. And I remember feeling like I had more of a say over the content that I was watching by being on YouTube, because I really had everything at my fingertips, but naturally gravitating towards something that is actually very appropriate for me to watch is so funny, knowing that I literally could have been watching anything. And there was a balance between watching things like that on YouTube that was very age appropriate, and then watching stuff on like the Disney Channel or Nickelodeon. And that was around the time where kids TV was still focused on making stories where the characters want to be celebrities, they want to be famous artists, they engage with magic regularly, things like that. Like that was what kids still wanted to be, versus now children's TV shows are more geared towards kids dreaming about being influencers and being in the social media space. And that's not anything that the networks are pushing incorrectly. That's just what kids want to do now, because kids now grew up with the internet fully developed, whereas I got to grow up with TV shows that I could watch and dream about, things that had nothing to do with the internet, but also get to see the internet take shape right in front of me. So having that balance was really cool. But you know, I think my generation also was probably the first to grow up fantasizing about being content creators or being Minecraft YouTubers. I feel like if I asked my whole friend group how many of you wanted to be a Minecraft YouTuber when they were younger, every single person would raise their hand. Or almost every single person. But yeah, when I was younger, I was watching things that were very age appropriate and geared towards me, like Stampy. I also watched a lot of LD Shadow Lady. That was more where I got invested in modded Minecraft, and I still watch some of her videos. And then as I got a little older, I started having more interest in like a storyline. I was getting to that preteen, early teens age where I was engaging in things like fan fiction and more mature material and more mature books and TV shows and things that took themselves very seriously. And that's when I entered my AFMAO phase. I reminisce very fondly of my AFMAO phase because I think that that did so much for me in wanting to be a writer and a storyteller, because I've always been writing since I was little. I've always loved storytelling, but that was something that pushed a lot of boundaries in writing. For context, if you don't know, AFMAO is a creator who now she does more things that are geared towards kids and more like let's play minigame type style videos, but when I was growing up, she made TV shows. And I talked a little bit about this in my Littlest Pet Shop video, how people could make TV shows out of just anything on YouTube and have like no restrictions. She was making TV shows in Minecraft. The more that she worked on them, the better that they got, and there were several different shows often running at the same time, and these shows had voice actors, they had seasons, they had music, they had location switches, and she would mod her game so that she could add like props and have them move around differently. And at one point I know that they had a studio, I don't know if they still do. They had a full studio that was working on these shows, which is awesome. And like right now people are talking a lot about indie filmmaking and how things like The Amazing Digital Circus and Iron Lung, Markiplier's movie, things that were made by people on the YouTube space from their own push, their own money, their own outsourcing of talent, are now being taken more seriously in the film industry. This was definitely an early version of that. And the thing about AFMAO's content is that it was inspired by or often referenced other pieces of media that I would not have engaged with otherwise. AFMAO was my first introduction to anime as a whole, and I've watched so much anime since then. My favorite show of all time is an anime, and I never would have found myself getting into that space if I hadn't been introduced at a younger age. The structure of her storylines were very reminiscent of a slice of life anime or a romance anime. And having pieces of media like that that are just so different from stuff that I would find on TV at that time at my fingertips, and having it be in the Minecraft space, something I was already familiar with, was actually a really great way to introduce people to new styles of storytelling and new pieces of media. And this was also a really big space for shipping culture. And I actually remember my friends and I having very specific ships and learning what shipping even was. And to this day I stand firm in the fact that Garmao should have been the in-game couple in Minecraft Diaries. I remember there being this Halloween special that AFMAO did earlier on, when there was just I don't remember what happened. There was just like a little tension with Gareth in it, and that changed my life. The first fanfiction that I'd ever written was for Minecraft Diaries, and some people read it. I had a few thousand reads. I had some comments, okay? And that's gone now. That has been deleted. But that fanfiction community was just really popular because every fandom has fanfiction, but like there's the ones that just are really saturated with it and the ones that don't hardly have any. That one had fanfiction for everything because there were so many different characters, and it was kind of structured like a reverse harem, which is like an anime trope where all of the boys have a crush on the main girl. So there was always a ship for everyone, for every character. And the last fanfiction that I wrote was actually about an anime, so I guess I have her to thank for that as well. I also remember there were these videos where people would assign a song to all of the characters. So they would put up a picture of the character and then the song that they thought encompassed them would play with it, if that makes sense. And Travis's song was always Womanizer by Britney Spears. So Avma was probably the biggest Minecraft roleplay YouTuber at the time. She kind of sparked a lot of stuff like that. There were a lot of people trying to replicate what she had done, and then there were other YouTubers who were also doing roleplays that had a lot of success, and I remember a lot of them specifically gearing towards a younger audience, and being a little less in-depth story-wise. And I didn't engage with those as much, but I know that a lot of people did, and it was a little more like watching something like Stampy that was, you know, very focused on the educational element. But the Minecraft roleplay phase was definitely something that kicked off in middle school for me. So moving forward, in high school, I stopped engaging with it a lot the first several years, and I think that was around the time that Minecraft YouTube really started to die out a lot. And I think everything good fizzles out at some point because you love something so much and there's so much like oversaturation for it. At a certain point, it is still a game, and most games kind of lose their fan base after a while unless it's something where there's a new version coming out all the time, like Call of Duty. But Minecraft wasn't that. It's a one version game. However, in a game where you can do anything, be anything, and create anything, people did that, and they did that at a level that I don't know could ever truly be replicated. Because like I was saying in the beginning, Minecraft does kind of have a structural beginning and end to it, but it's more like a sandbox kind of game. At a certain point, people aren't playing Minecraft anymore. Minecraft is the baseline for anything that you want to create. It's a platform to interact with other people. And that's what brings me to COVID. And I know what a lot of you are already thinking, and yes, I'm talking about the Dream SMP. The thing that got me back into YouTube was specifically this one video that popped up on my feed that was called something like Sapnap moments. It was like Sapnap funny moments or Sapnap like roasts or something, and I was like, who is that? And I watched it, and you know, you click on one thing and then it completely changes your feed, and I started seeing that this guy and his friend group were super popular, but this was like before the huge boom. The Dream SMP did not even exist yet when I found it. I got there ahead of time when they were just doing the manhunt videos. If you don't know, the manhunts were Dream, George and Sapnap, and then some of their other friends sometimes. But those were the main three. Those were the Dream team. And Dream was a Minecraft speedrunner, and speedrunning is basically self-explanatory. It's you try and beat the game as fast as possible. And there's like actual competitions for this, and he was a known speedrunner, I believe. I'm trying to remember as I'm telling you guys this, I'm not fact checking. So he would get into a game with his friends and he would try and beat the game and they would try and stop him. So if they could kill him before he beat the game, they won. But if he beat the game, he won. And he very regularly won. That was my introduction to the Dream Team. Now at a certain point, they start getting super popular super quickly, and this was COVID, so nobody had anything to do but literally sit around and watch YouTube videos, because even TV shows were not getting put out at this point because they couldn't film in COVID. Twitch was also getting super popular at this point, and it already was, but I had never heard of it, and I think a lot of people had never heard of it. And then the Minecraft boom resurged, and the Dream SMP specifically took off, and they would stream on Twitch and you could join and watch them play live. And they weren't even really playing Minecraft. They would do the manhunts and stuff, but it was never a let's play. It was always, you would watch them because they were entertaining to watch. Their friend group was funny and entertaining. At a certain point, they're getting famous, they're making friends. They start a server called the Dream SMP, and SMP stands for Survival Multiplayer. Pulled that one right out of my head, didn't have to look that up. And at first, it's just a server where they're getting on to continue hanging out and talking or whatever, and they keep adding people to it. And then they add Tommy Innit and Tubbo, who are like 15 at the time. And that was when everything changed for the Dream SMP, because after so long, the younger people on the SMP started wanting to do more with it. They were having these like mini storylines, and they weren't even doing it intentionally at first. They were kind of just joking around and playing make-believe, and people were loving watching that, and they were loving doing it. So at a certain point, we add a bunch of people to the SMP. We're doing these kind of make-believe storylines that aren't quite roleplay yet, and eventually they transition into roleplay. And that's how we morphed into the version of the Dream SMP that people talk about still to this day. They were having full-on wars. People had sides. People had like their own, and every single person almost on the server had their own storyline going, and you could watch anybody's live stream to figure out different pieces of the story. And they went from just doing things off the cuff to starting to plan storylines and planning certain beats that they wanted to hit. And this was really impressive because it was entertaining, but they were also doing all of this live and mostly just in the moment. And the thing about doing roleplay live is that if you mess up, you can't go back and fix it. So you really have one chance to do what you need to progress the story. And a lot of these people, again, were like 15, 16 years old, which made it even more impressive because the main character was literally 15, 16, carrying so much of this storyline on him. And again, I'm not going to get into specifics about everybody who took part, but that was at the time, I think I was actually 15 when I started watching it, and so I was the same age as some of the people who were taking part in this. I was the same age as Tommy, who was the main character of all of this, and that was, I think I really only watched Tommy, to be honest. The thing that brought the Dream SMP from the regular just playing around stuff to the hardcore roleplay was this animation that dropped. And I don't know if it's supposed to be pronounced sadist or sadist. I've always said sadist, so apologies if I'm wrong. It was by Sadist, and there had been animatics made before, but that was the one that picked up a lot of traction because it had taken this like little war storyline that they had done, cut it down, made it sound super dramatic, and it was awesome. At the time, it was so awesome, and it's still awesome. And that just blew up, and they kept making animatics that were serious like that, and then other people were making more and more animatics because that one was so cool, and each one was better and better. And so the people that were doing the storylines wanted to do better and better for the animatics. And they would say that. I remember them saying that several times, like, oh, I gotta get this right for the animation. And that is so cool. Basically like watching a condensed version of the roleplay. And again, the roleplay was about a war. So you had sides, you had favorite characters, you had several different plot lines going on. Like, there was something there to be invested in. You're either somebody who was there in it, or you just missed it, because it was not something that you could really join halfway through. You kind of just had to be there the whole time, or for a significant portion of the time, because there was so much going on. And your girl was a capital OG there from the beginning, so I got a full front row seat to the whole thing from conception to the very end. And I do want to make a video specifically about the Dream SMP and also about AFMAO's work as well, because I love talking about narrative things like this and just really getting into the details of why it worked, but that'll be in the future. So it's just really cool to see that, and that kind of becomes like the new dream, right? To be a Minecraft YouTuber kind of looks different now than it used to, and that is what really kickstarted this new era, because there were a lot of people involved in it. It just had so many controversies popping up. It kind of just ended. So now we're left with a version of Minecraft YouTube that is fitting the mini essay type YouTube format that has gotten really popular. I watched this video called like 1000 Players Simulate Civilization or something like that. I'll put a picture of it on the screen and I'll link it. And it perfectly encapsulated all of the eras of Minecraft YouTube that I grew up with the general just playing the game, and then the super hard like storyline roleplay that was really structured, and then the unstructured just letting people make stuff up as they go kind of roleplay. And I absolutely loved it. It was awesome. Ooh, got that ear going. I remember spending so much time as a kid also playing on servers, playing on like Hypixel, and doing the Minecraft's Hunger Games or Block Party. And I don't even know if those are still up, but I think there was a resurgence of that recently. And I also modded my games, and the reason that I modded my games was because I loved the roleplay stuff and I wanted to do it as well. But it's just so hard, and I'm in awe of anybody who has done something like that, because it is genuine like production. And then there was Minecraft Story Mode that I also remember came out. I don't know when it came out, but there were very relevant YouTubers in it, and it was like I don't really remember, I think it was another game, but it had a storyline to it, and you could interact with the game and choose the storyline. And now we have things like the Minecraft movie and the second one that's coming out. Seeing, you know, people find a career out of this, and seeing the first iterations of merchandise for Minecraft YouTubers, and now having people making cameos in the movie is wild. Minecraft is such a staple of like growing up now. I think like most people that I have interacted with in life at least know of Minecraft. Isn't that crazy? And it has certainly had a really big place in my life, but most people who have interacted with it would say the same. Oh, do y'all remember the guidebooks that would tell you how to craft things and how to make certain like buildings and things? Because on PC you have to remember the crafting recipes, but on Pocket Edition it would fill in automatically for you. And then if you had it on Xbox, which I did, but I remember like if you didn't want to buy the game yet on Xbox, there was a tutorial world that you could walk around and do stuff in. I spent so much time in that tutorial world because it took us forever to finally buy it. And I see a lot of things on TikTok, people who are older who talk about going home for spring break from college and playing Minecraft, or just getting a random urge to open up Minecraft and play for hours at a time and then putting it back down for a few months. And it really is just something that you always come back to. When I'm in my 50s, 60s, and I look back at my childhood, Minecraft actually is like a really big staple in my life. And I think someday it's going to get a lot more recognition for the impact that it's had on pop culture for sure. I think that shows in the fact that when we were trapped inside, did not know what to expect for the future, and grappling with our mental health, the thing that we turned to for comfort was this game. And I fully expect in a few years' time, or maybe even tomorrow, there will be a new phase for Minecraft, and we will continue to see more and more new ideas be brought to fruition through this platform. Thank you so much for watching, and if you liked this video, definitely check out my channel and subscribe below. There's more videos like this on my YouTube channel, and there will be more in the future. I will see you guys in the next one.